أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم وفقنا وسائر المشتغلين للعلم والعمل الصالح بحق محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم والعن عدوهم. Imam Ali alayhi salam said about Allah's verse in the Quran, eaters of the unlawful. This refers to the man who fulfills a need for a fellow brother and then accepts a gift from him. قال الإمام علي عليه السلام في قوله تعالى: أكالون للسحت هو الرجل يقضي لأخيه الحاجة ثم يقبل هديته. ويا مكثرها هالأيام، يا مكثرها. نبا مو بس ذاك يطي من طيب نفس، لا يقول له طيني وين هديتي أنا. مشكلة هاي، مشكلة. Anyhow, issue number 165. The exterior of wheat, the exterior, not the interior part, but the exterior. The exterior of wheat, rice, soap, etc. becomes mutanajjis. It becomes, if it becomes mutanajjis, the exterior of wheat, rice, soap, and so on, it becomes tahir by dipping it in kur or running water. Just dip it in a kur or running water. It will be what? It will become tahir. But if their interior becomes mutanajjis, if the interior parts of these things, wheat, soap, rice, becomes mutanajjis, they will be tahir if kur or running water reach the internal. Look, kur, not under kur water. Kur or running water. Look, kur or running water. Be careful. Definitely, if it is under kur water, this will not become tahir. If it is under kur water, if you know why the under kur water, if it reaches najasa, it will not make the najasa tahir, because the water itself will become what? Will become mutanajjis, even if not the three attributes are changed. Not smell, not taste, not the color. If they are not changed, the water will become what? Will become mutanajjis. Why? Because it is under kur water, ma qaleel. But if their interior becomes mutanajjis, they will be tahir if kur or running water reach the internal parts. However, in the case of a soap and similar object, water does not reach the internal parts at all. How about in the case of a soap, if its interior is mutanajjis and similar objects, water does not reach the internal parts at all. In this case, the internal part is still what? Still mutanajjis. Still mutanajjis. That means it will never become what? It will never become tahir. Do you have a question? Is it clear? Okay. Sheikh Muhammad, if you can sit with Sheikh Muhammad also, Muhammad al-Baqir, in order to, yes, inshallah we'll give you books right now. Issue number 166. If one doubts whether mutanajjis water, if one doubts, look here we are not sure, we have doubt. If one doubts whether mutanajjis water has seeped into the interior of soap or not. Now I doubt whether this mutanajjis water seeps. You know what does mean seeps? يتخلل, seeps into interior of soap or not. Its interior will be considered tahir. Why it will be considered tahir? Who can tell me? There is a base we discussed before. If you remember قاعدة الاستصحاب, because the interior part of the soap, it was already what? Tahir. It was tahir. This is what we are sure of. But now we doubt that the interior part becomes what? Becomes mutanajjis. Now, how can I deal with it? Can I deal with it as mutanajjis according to the doubt, or I will deal with it tahir according to what? To the knowledge. Exactly, to the knowledge. The knowledge tells me that it was tahir. Issue number 167. If the outer part of rice, meat, or any other similar thing becomes mutanajjis, it may be placed in a tahir basin. Look, if the outer part of a rice, meat, or any similar thing becomes mutanajjis, just like cucumber, it may be placed in a tahir basin, and then water is poured on it once. Just put it in a basin, in a utensil, in a tahir utensil, in a tahir basin, and pour water on it. Once it will be tahir. Then the bowl is emptied, or the utensil is emptied, so that the object in it become tahir. That means the rice, the meat, the cucumber. You understand the way how to make it tahir? Is it clear or difficult? It is clear, Sheikh Asil? It is clear for you? Good. But if the basin itself is mutanajjis, if the basin itself is what? Is mutanajjis, this process must be repeated. The first picture it was with the tahir basin, with the tahir utensil. All right? With the second picture, if the basin itself, it was mutanajjis, and the meat was mutanajjis, or the rice was mutanajjis too. In this case, if the basin itself is mutanajjis, this process must be repeated 3 times. To fill it with water and then to empty it. Then fill it with water second time and empty it. And for the third time, fill it with water and then empty it. At the end, the basin will also become tahir. If one wishes to make a dress or similar thing tahir in a basin, if, for example, my dish dasher is what is mutanajjis, and I want to make it tahir. Where in a basin. What shall I do in this case? If if one wishes to make a dress or similar thing tahir in a basin, one will pour water and then press and squeeze the object and tilt the basin. You see, squeeze the dress, and then what? Tilt the basin in order to let the water out of the basin, so that the remaining water powers off. Issue number 168. If a mutanajjis dress which has been dyed with indigo, يعني صبغ, or with any similar dye, if a mutanajjis dress dyed with indigo or with any similar dye is dipped into kur, or running water, it will become tahir. If water reaches all its its part before water becomes mudaf. Before water becomes mudaf with color. So, issue number 168 again. If a mutanajjis dress, this dress, its original, it becomes mutanajjis. It is mutanajjis. And this mutanajjis dress, which has been dyed with indigo or with any similar dye, is dipped into kur or running water. Look, kur or running water. It will become tahir if water reaches all its part before water becomes what? Becomes mudaf. How the water becomes mudaf? Definitely, yeah. Who can tell me how water becomes mudaf? If, for example, I have my garment, this is my garment, and this my garment, I already what? I painted it with what? Or dyed it with a color, a black color. Then it is mutanajjis. And I dipped it where? I dipped it in a kur or running water. Pay attention. Kur or running water, not under kur water. Kur or running water, because there is a big difference between kur or running water or what? Or the other thing. Okay. Now, if it is dipped in a kur or running water, and I'm sure that water reached to all or penetrated to all its parts, exterior part. Now, it becomes tahir. Yes, it becomes tahir because before what? Before the water becomes what? Becomes mudaf. How the water becomes mudaf? Yes, Shaykhana.
Because the water will take the color of the garment.
Yes, because the water will take the color of the garment, number one, and as you know, the mudaf water, the mixed water, will never make mutanajjis thing tahir, even if it is a sea. Even if it is a sea. When it becomes mixed water, mudaf water, we cannot make any mutanajjis thing tahir with it. Why? Because it is a mutanajjis thing, simply. If a mutanajjis dress which has been dyed with indigo or with any similar dye is dipped into kur or running water, it will become tahir if water reaches all its part before water becomes mudaf with color. But if it is made tahir with less than kur water, it will become tahir only if mudaf water does not come out at the time of wringing or squeezing. How about if we dip it in under kur water? We said, okay, it will be mudaf, it will be mudaf, it will be tahir if the water will not, which comes out of this garment, will not be mudaf, will not be mixed. In this case, this garment will be what? Will be tahir. Otherwise, if the water comes out from it, if the water comes out from it, and the water is what? Is mixed with the color of the garment, for example, with the color of the dress itself. In this case, this garment or this dress is not what? Is not tahir. And we need, look, but if it is made tahir with less than kur water, it will become tahir only if mudaf water does not come out at the time of wringing or squeezing. You know, the garment, when we put it in water, whether this water, kur, running water, under kur water, definitely there is water in it. If we have to wring it, or if we squeeze it or wring it, definitely we let what? We let water comes out of it. If this water comes out of it is not mixed water, so this garment becomes what? Becomes tahir. Of undercore water, yes, of undercore water. That means with running water or core water, we do not need what? Very good, excellent. With running water or core water, we do not need to squeeze it or to wring it. We do not need that. But with undercore water, we need to squeeze it and to wring it. And we have to look at the water. If it is mixed water, so this dress still what? Still mutanajis. Why? Because the water is what? Is mixed water. Great. Issue number 169. If a dress is washed with cold water or running water, if a dress is washed with cold water or running water, and later, for example, black mud is found stuck on it. Dress is washed with cold water or running water, and later, for example, black mud is found stuck on it. On where? On the dress itself. The dress will be tahir if one does not suspect that the black mud has prevented water from reaching the dress. Yeah, it is a black mud, okay. But I'm not suspecting that the mud is preventing water from reaching all the part of the dress. I'm sure there is a mud, but it does not prevent water from what? From reaching the underit parts of the dress. But in case, if I doubt, or if I suspect that this black mud is preventing water from what? From reaching the parts or the underit part of the dress, it wouldn't become what? It wouldn't become tahir. Issue number 170. If slush of mud or soap is seen on a dress, يعني إذا عفت هيك قطعة من الصابون، قطعة من الطين، هيك فت seen on a dress, on a garment, on a saya, on any piece of cloth, after being made tahir with water, it will be considered tahir. It will be considered tahir. However, if mutanajjis water has reached the interior of mud or soap, if the mutanajjis water has reached the interior of mud or soap, then the exterior of the slush will be tahir. The exterior of slush will be tahir. And its interior will be mutanajjis. Its interior will be mutanajjis. Imagine this is a soap. This is a soap, okay? Whether this is a soap by itself or it is where it is found on a cloth, a piece of a cloth right here. Now, if the mutanajjis water penetrated inside the exterior, the internal part of this soap or this slush of soap or mud, now the exterior will become what? Tahir. The exterior will become tahir, while the interior is what? Is mutanajjis. There is no doubt. The interior part, the internal part will be mutanajjis. Issue number 171. Mutanajjis thing does not become tahir unless the essential najasa is removed from it. A mutanajjis thing does not become tahir unless the essential najasa is removed. The essential najasa is moved. We should remove what? The essential. We should move the feces, we should move the urine, we should move the semen, the blood, okay? And then we make it tahir. Number one, we have to remove the essential najasa. but there is no harm if the color or smell of the najasa remains in it. Sometimes if we are in case to remove the feces, definitely we allow to remove the feces with what? With a stone, with a cloth, with a piece of food. Okay, in this case, the color of the feces remain, the smell of the feces remains, and the taste of the feces remains. It doesn't matter. The most important thing is what is the essential najasa. Is the essential najasa. Even with removing the feces, not the urine, because urine it moves. Alaykum salam. Urine it moves only with what? Only with water. With feces, we can remove it with a cloth, with a piece of food, with a piece of a cloth, with a tissue, a dry tissue, exactly. But if the some particles, unseen particles remains, it doesn't matter. Unseen particles, it remains, it doesn't matter. Okay? Here says Sistani, may Allah give him his prolonged life, a mutanajjis thing does not become tahir unless the essential najasa is removed from it. But there is no harm if the color or smell of the najasa remains in it. Doesn't matter. So is that thing becomes tahir? Yes, it becomes tahir. So if a blood is removed from cloth and the cloth is made tahir with water, it will become tahir even if the color of the blood remains on it. You know that when blood is on the dress or on a cloth, when we remove it, it will still what? Still yellowish, safar. All right? In this case, doesn't matter. It will become tahir. Even if the color, yes, even if the color left because of the blood. But because of the essential najasa, the blood itself has been removed, but only its color stayed there. But if if on account of the smell or color it becomes certain or seems probable that some particle of najasa are still present in the cloth, it's what, etc., it will remain mutanajjis again. But if on account of the smell or color it becomes certain or seems probable that some particles of najasa are still what? Are still present in the cloth. The color, the smell of najasa, why they are there? Because of some particles of najasa is there. Some particles of najasa is there. It will remain mutanajjis. It will remain mutanajjis because we put provided that, or a condition that the essential najasa should be what? Should be removed. Here the color or the smell of the najasa because of what? Because of some particles of najasa are left in that object. So it is what? It is still mutanajjis. Do you understand this or not? Yeah. If najasa of the body is removed in kur or running water, the body will become tahir. Look, what we have, kur or running water. The body will become tahir except when it is mutanajjis because of urine. with urine something. احنا نقول عليه المتنجس بالبول شنو عز الله السامع؟ نجاسة غليظة. البول عز الله السامع نسميها نجاسة غليظة، مو مثل الفيسز، مو مثل البلاد. لا، نجاستها مو غليظة. الغليظة وين؟ بالبول. مشكلة البول. If najasa of the body is removed in core or running water, the body will become tahir, except when it is mutanajjis because of urine. Urine is something different. for which one washing is not enough. One washing is what is not enough. By washing with cold water as an obligatory precaution, it is not enough. If this thing is mutanajjis with urine, one washing is not enough. But it is not necessary to walk in and out of water to achieve 2 washes. Not to walk in and out in water to make what? To achieve 2 washes. If a person under water wipes mutanajjis part with his hand under the water, and what he does, wipes, يمسح, wipes the mutanajjis part with his hand, allowing water to reach there again. That means to wipe this part or this piece of cloth under water in order to let water out of it and to have a new water comes inside it. This is what we need. There again, it will suffice. That will be sufficient. It will be enough. While one wash with running water will be what? Will be suffice. While with running water will be suffice. Issue number 173. If mutanajjis food remains between the teeth, mutanajjis food remains between the teeth, just like piece of meat, and water is taken in the mouth and moved in such a way, just like racing water, in such a way that it reaches the entire mutanajjis food, the food becomes tahir. The food becomes what? The food becomes tahir. Sometimes when we eat some of leftover or some of the food, piece of food still in between what? In between our teeth. Okay, if they become mutanajjis, how they become? Maybe the food itself become mutanajjis, number one, or maybe it reaches the blood from your gum, اللثة مالتك, and becomes mutanajjis. How can I make it tahir? By let water inside your mouth and move it in a way that water reaches all the parts of the mutanajjis food inside your mouth. This mutanajjis food will become what? Will become tahir. Issue number 174. Hair of head and face is washed with under cold water. If the mutanajjis hair of head and mutanajjis hair of the face is washed with under cold water, and if it is not overgrown, just like short hair, just like my beard, for example, okay, short hair, okay, if it is not overgrown, I don't think, what's your name, Sheikh? Just like Ali, he has his overgrown hair. Why? Because if he wipe it or comb it, I think that hair will be out of his head. This is what we call it in Arabic, ما خرج بمده عن حده. ما خرج بمده عن حده. هذا نسميه overgrown. It is not necessary to squeeze them for remaining water to flow off. There is no need. Look, what is there is no need? Not like the hair of Sheikh Ali. Maybe like my beard. Maybe like my beard. If it becomes mutanajjis, if the hair becomes mutanajjis, when I wash it with water, I do not need to squeeze it to let the water flow off. But if it is overgrown, I need to squeeze it. If it is just like Sheikh Ali here, he needs to squeeze it in order to let the water flow out of the hair. Last issue number 175. If a part of the mutanajjis body or dress is washed with undercore water, the parts adjacent to it where water usually reaches will become tahir. If a part of mutanajjis body, for example, if this part is mutanajjis, if this part of my upper part of my hand is what is mutanajjis. Now, when I washed it, the adjacent part, the mutanajjis area is over here, exactly over here. These adjacent, you know what does it mean? Adjacent, الملاصقة إليه المقتربة من عدها. These adjacent part will become tahir. To where water usually reaches will become tahir. When the mutanajjis part becomes tahir, it means that it is not necessary to wash those sides independently. ما أحتاج شنو إنه أرجع أغسل ذوله بشكل مستقل. لا مستقل. Since I wash this mutanajjis area, so the adjacent part will become what? Will become tahir automatically. It means that it is not necessary to wash those sides independently, as the mutanajjis part and parts around it becomes tahir together. And similar, the same hukum, that means the adjacent parts will become tahir. If a tahir thing is placed by the side of a mutanajjis thing, this tahir thing, I place it beside this mutanajjis thing, okay? And water is powered on both of them. Hence, if water is powered on all fingers while trying to make one finger, mutanajjis finger, is what? Tahir, and mutanajjis as well as tahir water reach them all, they will all be tahir together. For example, if this finger is what? Is mutanajjis. If this finger becomes mutanajjis, I want to make it tahir. Then what I did, I poured water on all the fingers. When this becomes tahir, I don't need to go over the rest of the fingers and to make them tahir independently. No, they will become what? They will become tahir, as well as the mutanajjis one becomes tahir. That's all for this lecture. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajjal farajahum wa la'anahum. هم طبعا يقولون نخلي في القواعد للجلسة، يعني إذا أحد أثناء الدرس عند ضرورة